Hello everyone and welcome back to another Kred Studios Kredcast. I'm your host Cole, otherwise known as Crimson Kramer. You can check out my stuff below. And today we have a special guest who will hopefully be a permanent addition to the Kred Studios industry, and that is Ricky, otherwise known as Black Tie.
Yeah, your hand is warm.
Oh, I know.
I like it. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about yourself, Ricky, before we continue on.
Well, I like long walks down short piers. I don't know how to swim. Actually, I do. But I'm not very good at it. And oh, you're so nice.
No,
I am very interested in filmmaking and acting and bodybuilding and maybe one day modeling. But yeah, no, it's a good life. Try to take it one day at a time. Not overwhelm yourself. Work hard. Do what you gotta do.
All right.
Oi.
Alrighty, and you actually came up with this topic the other day, and it's the evolution of the video game industry.
Cool. I thought we were going to talk about, like, herpes and stuff like that. Can you talk about that? It was like, oh, video games. Okay.
Yeah, that's for the Triple X podcast.
Oh, all right. Yeah, no, video games, they've evolved, like, throughout time. Yeah, I guess it's more of like how video games have assimilated certain generations. So like, for instance, we fall in the millennial category, as do many young adults or full-grown adults. Video games have become an extremely huge part of our lives, whereas the younger generations now, like they were born into it. They don't really understand the concept of like, oh wow, this thing is never seen this before and stuff. And it wasn't a shock factor as much as like when we were growing up and stuff. And we were like, the progression of graphics. Oh my god, this is amazing.
Yeah,
blowing my mind. Like, you know, I still remember like the first games I was playing was like the first ever game I played was Super Mario World. Mm-hmm. And just the other day I was playing Super Mario 3D World, and it's just like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember going from the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64, and that's when it was just groundbreaking. It was incredible. Mm-hmm. But it's that appreciation. I think that's really what it comes down to. The millennial generation really knows how to appreciate things in that way.
Yeah.
So there's a difference, you know.
Yeah, and to add to that, like, because that's also coming from the company Nintendo, which basically pays homage to the fun family side of it. It doesn't matter what the concept is as long as you're having fun.
Yes. Compared
to other games where, again, there's the good side of millennials where they appreciate it. There's also the bad side where it's just like, it's the same bullshit over and over again.
But then, in that case, just go and, like, refer to, like, Sony or Microsoft or whatever PC Master is.
Because, like we were saying, like, how games started, honestly, I feel like Nintendo and Atari, like, those were the companies that really started it. But I feel like Nintendo had it beforehand because long ago, Nintendo was a card company. Like, they were...
Yeah.
Like, I have, somewhere on my shelf of stuff, I have a classic Nintendo Japanese card game made by Nintendo, and it's Nintendo branded. And they really know how to hit home with the with games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
they hit it but never quit it. Like, it's just it's great.
And just because you were also saying the other day how video games, they come from inspirations, and then through the playing the game, that inspiration is passed on to the consumer.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Who was the guy that made Zelda? Do you know specifically off the top of your head?
That was isn't that like the same dude who made... That's the same dude who made Mario. Miyamoto.
It was Miyamoto?
It was Miyamoto.
Okay.
Actually, I read a little brief thing on it. He said he used to travel through caves and such.
Yes.
Like in his estate or whatever it was, like by his house. Mm-hmm. And he used to go and just travel around with like a little lantern. And actually, it was about Twilight Princess that they were saying that. So Twilight Princess is actually the most relatable, where he was able to simulate his dream, like, and into a real piece of art.
Yeah.
It was also like the darkest, so I don't know what kind of shit went on when he was younger, but
well, I guess it hits home with like, well, because at that point Zelda became the iconic you fight evil, so like, guess trying to bring that realism to a Zelda game with the graphics that they had when Twilight Princess first came out, I guess they wanted to go for like a more mature audience, because at the time it's the people who grew up playing the first Zelda at that point would have been mature enough to play Twilight Princess.
Absolutely. I think that's a very key word you said, mature, because it's like, I think why that game was so dark was because it was that transition, like, from purity and everything like that, and like innocence of like a child, into like, okay, this is the real world now. And think about the demographic of like the age group it was aimed towards. Like 2003 Wind Waker came out, and I think I was 9 years old, and Link was like, he was about 12 or whatever it was. Like, that was the age group, like in between there. And what is it? I think Twilight Princess came out around when I was in high school, in like 2006, 2007.
I believe so.
Yeah, because it was the launch title for the Wii.
Yeah.
And that's like when you're growing older, when you're in between. So 2006, I was maybe about 12, 13 or something like that. And it's like you're just beginning to go and understand what adulthood is, because your teenage years are so vital to understanding that. So it's like that transition to now, okay, things are getting darker. It's almost like symbolism to one's life of that demographic of like, this is the real world. And you're almost thinking of your life and video games. That's why Nintendo's so good at that, of like coinciding fantasy and mythical things into the realism of worlds, you know?
Yeah, because I have a similar experience with that, because when me and my parents and my siblings, we moved to Patchogue, and I made friends, and this was a couple years after we moved. There were a lot of woods over by where my parents were, so like me and my friends, we would go explore the woods, but in order to get through the woods, we had to go over this river, and there was like a log that fell over, and there were pieces of concrete everywhere, and like we had so much fun going through this river. We found what was a hobo camp. It was really cool to see, because it was like, what is this? And there were makeshift beds, there were cans of soup, there was a fire pit.
You actually found Karuki Forest.
So there was that, and then there was also the lake that was by the house, and we were all like, well, we should build a boat. Because my dad still is, to this day, he's a carpenter, so we always had wood and stuff, and we wanted to build a boat that would fit 5 kids, and we would sail across the lake and stuff, and like have so much fun. We never did it though, but we always had that idea of like, one summer we're gonna build this raft, and we're gonna sail and this and that, and we're gonna explore Canaan Lake like no one has ever done before, and like we were gonna have like so much fun with it, and we had like all these ideas, and like as a kid we think that these ideas are foolproof. Meanwhile, there's no, like, nowadays there's an actual science to it, and it's like, yeah, this wouldn't have been possible.
Yeah, but Wind Waker, there you go. Straight up Wind Waker. Like, that was straight up Wind Waker. Yeah. No, that's crazy. Wow. And like, you're just, your imagination runs so wild where it's like, oh boy, like anything's possible. And it's cool just how like video games can just embrace that in a way. What was it? Another thing is like in tune also with like making connections between the real world and like fantasy and Nintendo and all that stuff. I also found that I was more interested in history. Okay. You know why? Which game got me interested in history?
Which one? I can't think of one.
Assassin's Creed.
Oh god.
And let me tell you, around that time that game came out, I was studying like the Crusades and all those wars, the Holy Wars, and I was like, I know who this guy is. I just assassinated him last night. Like, this is great.
So this is how he died in real world, not really.
So you mean Altair didn't do this? Like,
yeah.
But it made me so much interested, like so much more interested, because it was a way to go and connect, and it was a way to have fun. It was something more, and I think that's also very important, because I was like born with ADD and all that stuff, and like I couldn't sit still. So eventually, especially with kids with like learning disabilities and all that, where they can connect and they can just be like, yo, like this is something that means a lot. Like, to me, it's a good method to go and learn things, because it's like I'm having fun, I'm understanding, and like I'm learning, and I'm bettering myself, really. And a lot of kids don't understand that knowledge is power. It is power. It's incredible. And I didn't understand that as a kid, but like I had to be engaged somehow, and I think that was a very good and useful and instrument to go and like help me learn and be interested. Another way that like video games has helped me better myself is actually like prototyping Assassin's Creed as well. Free running.
Okay.
Free running, oh my goodness. That was the pinnacle like of in my teenage years. I was like, I want to be just like Altair, and I want to do flips and jump off buildings and stuff like that. I was 17 years old, and I jumped off of a cargo unit over a metal fence and almost fucking killed myself. Sorry, I said the F word.
It's okay.
But no, it's incredible to be like, yo, like pushing yourself. And I had been training like 3 years prior to that. I think if I was 17, then 4 years. 3, whatever. Nice. I was like about 14. And like I was a little overweight, a little chubby and stuff like that. And I worked, and I had the cardio every weekend, meet up with my group of friends, and I was just like, hey, guys, let's go and practice free running and, like, just get better and all that stuff. And it was engaging, and it was fun, but, like, at the same time, I was gaining exercise, and, like, I was eating healthier, because I knew that if I ate a fucking bag of chips or, like, a giant chocolate ice cream sundae or something like that, it was going to hit me later, and I was going to feel like crap. So, like, it motivated me to eat healthier. It motivated me to go and better myself, to go and, just become a better person. Because a lot of people, they fall into the trap. And what the trap is it's embracing addictive personality disorder, which is like video games, right? Like they'll say, oh, you're constantly on video games, what are you doing, and all that stuff. People get addicted, they do. That's people that don't really do much about it. But if you embrace video games as a way of inspiration, just like any piece of art is intended to, then you're really understanding that, like, wow, this is the purpose of it. It is to have fun, without a doubt, but it's also to be like, hey, this is an interesting concept. That's why Ubisoft, like when they made Assassin's Creed, and like, and Nintendo just in general, they've always embraced like learning and being healthy and just getting out there. Yeah,
it's the inspiration aspect of it, that you've played these games and then you're now inspired to be as close to real world to that as possible. Like, to this day, I still have the desire to go and explore woods. Like, as an adult, it's harder because you can't really go anywhere because you have a life and this and that. But I want to be able to get to the point where I could travel to upstate New York and go hiking through these woods on like an off trail, like something that's not set, something to where I could explore and find something and move out. Like down over in Montauk, I took Diana to the beach down there, to the lighthouse, and we walked across the beach, and there was this part of the beach that was blocked off by the water, but then also like basically to the like a cliff edge. So we had to climb up the cliff, we had to watch our step, we had to like maneuver across these rocks, and like, she was nervous and like, oh, I don't want to fall, this and that, because like some of the steps you had to like really like jump for. But at the same time, I was having like the best time of my life, and it was so cool to like experience that, and like, oh, let's keep going, and we're going across the rocks and stuff, and then eventually we found this beach, and a couple of other people found it too, but it was just such a adventure, and I really like that sense of adventure to where it's exploration. Like, I would love to be able to like go through woods and maybe find a cave and like go and look into the cave and hopefully not find a bear, but like, like
game over, man.
Yeah. But like to be able to explore and have those adventures, and what's a little adventure without a little bit of danger? Like,
exactly.
And that's like another thrill to it. Like, it's not like I don't want to not be like, it's like I don't want to find danger, but if danger comes across, I want to at least be prepared for it. So it's not like I just don't want to go to the woods without equipment and shit and then find a bear and be like, oh, fuck, let me just throw down my pants and fucking jack off. Maybe that'll scare it off.
No, it's, I think, what you're really trying to get at is, like, that you understand that the cost of adventure is to expect danger.
Yeah, because it's like... when you play, like, Skyrim, like, is, like, the other, besides Zelda, Skyrim also opens up that sense of adventure.
Yeah.
To where you have your sword, you have your shield, you got your magic, and you can fast travel between the places, but if you've never been to a place, you have to go and walk there. So you're walking through these woods, you gotta walk up this mountain, you gotta go this way, you gotta go that way. Ooh, there's a cave that you can explore. You go in, you explore the cave, you beat the dungeon or whatever. You get the item at the end of the dungeon, then you leave. Like, that sense of adventure. Like, even Minecraft. Minecraft is another one. Like, and that's probably the more staple one that I still play to this day is Minecraft. Because it's, there's the survival mode. You survive. You start out with no items. You gotta break down the tree. You gotta make the wooden axe. You gotta kill the pig. You gotta mine the stone. You gotta make a furnace. You gotta make a crafting table. You gotta make a house. And it's all starting from the ground up. And then, like, there's that sense of, like, you have to survive because you have to keep on eating. But, like, once you're settled within, like, that form of in Minecraft, when you finally have a house that you settle at, then you go out and you explore this massive, randomly generated world that you're never going to find again when you restart the game. Yeah. It's always different every time you restart.
Wow.
And you can set it up to where if you die once, that's it. The world is over.
Wow.
So, like...
That's deep.
Yeah.
And, like, little kids play that game. That's insane.
But yeah, they play on, like, revive mode, and then it's like, oh, you revive with all your items, because if you die, you drop your items, so then you have nothing.
Hey, you don't know that. There might be little kid gamers that are, like, real hardcore.
Yeah, well, like, there are the kid gamers who could play forever and ever and ever and not have to lose their items because they're that good. But that comes across like, oh, there's this massive, like, you're walking through the woods and it's, like, late at night. All of a sudden, you're surrounded by zombies, skeletons, and creepers, and you may not have the equipment at the time to face that. So it's like, you have to prepare, and once you're prepared, then you go out and you do it. And then, like, to beat the game, you have to fight a dragon. At that point, you need to have the best items, and the only way to find that is to look for it, is to explore.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just so amazing that such a simple game with such a simple concept can inspire so much imagination and a desire to basically try to find the real world equivalent of that. Like, I would love to be able to, like, walk through the woods and find a ghost town, and then be able to explore the ghost town, and, like, there could be hobos there could be wild animals there, you don't know, but you can't not explore it to not find out.
Yeah, there's cases where there's, like, urban exploring, like, saying that I've done urban exploring. I'm not saying that, wink wink, nudge nudge.
Yeah.
But there are cases, there have been buildings and stuff like that. It's real. I've, people have never had an encounter before, such as theoretically myself. But it's I've heard from friends that, like, they've gone through and like they've met other people that were causing riots and stuff like that, and they had caused like violent encounters and stuff. And it goes back to what you said before, that adventure, there's the cost of adventure is expectation of danger. That you have to expect it, you have to be ready, and like that's what it is. And I feel like also this phase in the world is like, it's very violent, ultra violent, desensitized, and almost sociopathic at times. Not to say that everyone is, but I'm just saying that like society itself, America, is very prone to not prone to feeling bad about violence.
It's like you said, it's become desensitized, and like that's not a very good, like,
it isn't good.
When Pokemon Go came out, they were expecting that to be everyone's being friendly and working together. That didn't happen. It ended up being that, an Eevee popped up in Central Park and thousands of people are running to catch this one item, to catch this one Pokemon.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, then you lose it, and then people fight over it, and people have basically died because of playing this game. And then you have the people who are driving and playing, and the people who walk off cliffs and playing.
But I mean, that's just like natural selection at that point, because it's like, if you're gonna text and drive and use your electronic device and drive, I hate when people do that.
But even when a kid walks into the, like, there was a kid who, he was playing Pokemon Go and his little brother accidentally deleted the app. Wow. This kid literally killed his brother. Like,
there was an article on that. Wow.
Yeah, his 11-year-old kid killed his 7-year-old brother because he accidentally deleted Pokemon Go and stabbed him to death.
Wow.
But that goes back to like the desensitizing. Like, he clearly didn't feel any.
Not Nintendo. We're not in any way, shape, or form saying that Pokemon Go is promoting the murder of little kids. But
it's just the society that we live in, that it's sad to see that these companies want to invoke this inspiration of exploration, but because of the society that we are in, it falls short of, like, there's always the sense of violence, or even like the sexual predators dropping the little lures, and people going because like, ooh, someone dropped a lure here, that must be good Pokemon, and they go and then they get kidnapped, they get robbed from, they get raped, and like, it's so sad to see that happen. And
I feel like this just went from extremely optimistic and delightful to like really dark and pessimistic.
Oh yeah, like there's always the truth of the matter, and like
there is.
There's no, like, if we know it, there shouldn't be a need to hide it. If people are unaware of it, it'd be nice to bring their attention to it.
Absolutely.
But even then, like, that's all like on a personal level of like inspiration from video games.
Yeah.
Because like video games also bring together people too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of Nintendo brings families together, especially since Nintendo 64, because it had the first 4-player controller port.
Absolutely.
That you and 4 friends can play instead of just you and 2 friends.
Yeah, I remember when I was living in Brooklyn when I was younger. We had the Nintendo 64, and to this day, like, that is my favorite console.
Yeah.
But I remember you were the coolest kid on the block if you had one. Like, everyone they were like, oh, let's go and just go over, Ricky's house or whatever it is, to go and play and stuff like that, and and all that. And, and we just had all my cousins and stuff coming over, family. I have a big family, so it's like we just all huddle up, and some of my best memories are from that console. Because, like, Mario Party and, like, Mario Kart and just, Conker's Bad Fur Day. All those really great titles. Jet Force Gemini. 007. That's the original... Call of Duty.
That was like the original shooter, and it came out from just 4 people going around trying to shoot each other with the polygonal...
Big head mode.
Yeah.
DK mode. It's crazy. It's it does have a sense of unity, but then again, Nintendo's they've been really good at doing that.
Yeah, it's a family entertainment company. Like, even, like, GameCube, I would say more Wii. When the Wii came out, a lot of people got that because you and your family can play it. Because it was not, sit down and have a controller. It was all motion controls. Yeah. So, like, everyone's playing Wii Sports with each other, especially the bowling one. I remember that we would just have, like, any party that we'd have, Wii Sports was the thing to go to. Everyone would play bowling. You have four people go up, and it's like, all right, these four people play, these four people play. The best of those two things, they play each other. And so then you have this group of four playing, and then whoever's best of that plays the best of the other group of four. Yeah. Because it was very competition-based, but it was very fun and, like, family competitive.
Yeah, I remember, like, with family and all that, on the topic of that, like, Wii bowling, my mom actually bowled a 300 game. And, like, she was dedicated to it. Like me trying to beat the water temple, kind of dedicated. Like, that sense of, like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely painful, but I need to do it. Yeah. And it's the first time I'd ever seen my mother, like, have the same kind of expression as I did. Like, it's so funny to see something like that. Even my brother was hooked on the boxing of Wii Sports. And he and I would just, like, we'd be for hours, like, trying to beat the shit out of each other. And it was so fun. It was nice. And we were both drenched in sweat after, like, at the end of the day. Yeah. And we were getting a workout. Like, then again, there you go. Like, Nintendo's just good at that. It's just, they're really good at, like, making you be interactive and just exercise and healthy.
Yeah. I think even the Just Dance games, they were just as sweat drenching because because even if you don't have, like, even if you're not playing, you can still dance with everyone. Yeah. So, like, there would be times where no one even had the controller and we would just let the game go and everyone would try to mimic them, and it was a lot of fun. And then, like, if you had the controller, then you have to, like, try to do the dances and see who can beat who. But even then, it was, you had the people in the back who were doing all the dances too, and it was just so fun and entertaining. And then they had the dances where all of you were incorporated, or they had the one where 4 people are now incorporated. They're all doing different things, and it was just a lot of fun.
Oh, it's beautiful. But yeah, no, I think that pretty much clears, like, the topic of, like, how video games really have changed society in a way.
Well, in a way, but that's, like, all on Nintendo, because nowadays we now have, like, we have wireless communication with people now. Because back in Nintendo 64, GameCube, and even Wii, you had to be in the same physical spot as the people that you were playing with. Yeah. And as we grew up, that became a thing where it wasn't possible, because it's like, oh, I have homework, oh, I have this, I finally started a job, and you couldn't really connect with the people that you have. But then and that's, like, all Nintendo, but then there's also the Microsoft and Sony side, to where I remember PlayStation 2 was, like, one of the first consoles to really do a wireless
online
game. And I remember it was, like, for, like,
no, there was wired. It was like Ethernet cable.
Well, that's what I meant. Like, the first, like, online capabilities was PlayStation 2, and it was the ATV Off-Road Fury game. I remember seeing a commercial for it, and it was like, this guy's like, what is this guy doing? What is he, a clown? And it shows a guy in another house, and he's a clown. And it was like, play with your friends online, buy the Sony Ethernet cable.
And it was. I remember I bought it because I was hooked on to a video game, Final Fantasy 11, and my brother and I had started playing it, and we, like, bonded through it, like, so well. And I was, like, about 9 years old, and he played on the PC, and I played on the PS2. And we bought this big, giant, like, add-on extension, put it into the PS2. I had to unscrew it, screw it in, and we would be in the same room playing Final Fantasy 11 at the same time. And it was so cool because the PS2 could now do that. and like we already had a PC, so it was awesome, and we'd be on an online game, MMO, where like people normally weren't like that.
Yeah.
But it was just like, yeah, we were the badass ones and stuff, and we were like, yeah, we're brothers and all that stuff, and it was so funny, it was so fun, and I think that I was just lucky because like buying a PC would have been like much more expensive than buying a $80 extension thing. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's thank goodness for that.
And like, I remember when I first got an Xbox 360, all my friends had it, and they were like, "Oh, we're playing Call of Duty together. We're doing this together," and like those were probably the highlights of like a lot of my friend interactions besides them physically coming over, because we would be playing from 6 to like midnight, just playing Call of Duty and like talking over the headsets and this and that, and like it invoked that same. It's the same but not the same. Like you're playing with your friends, but they're not physically there. So it's like, but you still get that same interaction because it's, you know, you're hanging out with your friends, you're just at home. So like on a rainy day when you couldn't get to your friend's house, you just go on Xbox and it's like, hey, let's play this on Xbox. Okay. Because everyone can bring their controllers and play off the same console, but you get so much, like, but you're able to go more like in depth with like you're playing at home and then they're playing at home and they have the full screen to themselves and no one's screen cheating and stuff. So it was like a lot of fun to be able to do that as a kid. Because I remember there was this was, even though this was after I moved out and I was living at my grandparents' house, it was me, and my 3 other friends. You know them. I don't want to say names on here. So let's call them Adam, Jeff, and Jimmy. And but these aren't the people that I like.
Can we input little like stick figures into the screen and just make them? Yeah, we're just okay. Just make sure to edit that in. Adam, Jeff, and Jimmy.
And we were playing Call of Duty Black Ops, the zombie mode, one of the zombie modes, and like 3 hours into it, no one lost a life.
Wow. And
we're running around screaming and yelling and being like, get over here, come over here, the gun popped up over here, run away, the ghost is coming, the mega zombie is coming.
The ghost.
You gotta get the whatever gun, the one-shot kill no matter where you aim, whatever. Like, and just like, I just remember like, holy shit, 3 hours of this.
Yeah.
And like, it was so much fun, even though everyone's screaming and yelling and being like, you fucking asshole, you left me to die! Come and revive me, you piece of shit!
You piece of shit.
And we're screaming and yelling, but at the same time, we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's the same thing. Like on PS4, I have my buddies that I play Battlefield with and other games, like... And that's like the other thing, is like the games that I play now that a lot of people try to play competitive, I just try to play it on a casual competitive side to where like, you know, it's fun to be competitive with it, but at the same time I want to have the fun of like talking with my friends and this and that, because when you talk to random people online, half of them don't even speak English, and like there's this one kid who I was live streaming and he messaged me on YouTube, oh, can I join you? And I said, yeah, sure. And he came on and he was like, he couldn't really speak good English. I couldn't understand him. And on top of that, he took the game so competitive that he was saying like, oh, you suck, this and that. It's like, dude, you came onto my live stream and I said I would be willing to play with you, and now you're calling me that I suck, this and that. Like, I was having fun on my own before you came in. But if I was playing with a friend, I wouldn't mind because, you know, I know the person.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm going to play with someone online, I'm not going to talk to you. Yeah. I turn my settings to party mode so I don't have to hear the rest of the team talk unless I'm playing with a friend.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely it. I think I played Call of Duty Black Ops online. I played Assassin's Creed online. My brother was very into that. And Uncharted, I played online. All right. Very into that. And Final Fantasy 11, I played for 9 years. Since I was 9 years old, all the way until I was 18.
Wow.
So like, I stopped playing when I was 18. That was a crazy MMO. And I think about it too, and it's like, I enjoyed some of the summers that I would stay in with my brother, and we would just play together and all that. But like, I think about it now as like a 22-year-old man, and I'm just like, damn, I could have been doing something different. I could have been taking up a trade. I could have been learning guitar or something like that.
But I mean, like,
and it's not so much like a regret of the past, but it's like, hey, you know, like you learn to appreciate things now, you know, because it's like, what if I went back now and I was just playing online or something like that, and I didn't make use of my time.
But yeah, at the same time, if you did that, you wouldn't be at the spot that you're in today.
Exactly, and I wouldn't have any kind of wisdom. Yeah.
Like, it's a double-edged sword. It's the whole, the situation, like, that people want to do time travel. It's like, you want to go back in time and you want to change time. You want to change, it's like, this is going to get a little off topic, but it's like how DC Comics rebooted with the whole Flashpoint. Flashpoint is basically the event where the Flash goes back in time, changes something, but then it fucks up the future.
Yeah.
And that basically became the new staple of how DC worked. It was because he went back in time and changed one event, it changed everyone's origin. Like, there's the Flashpoint movie, which is that it's a really good movie. It's dark. It's a very dark movie.
Yeah.
But it's a really good movie. And the Flash goes back in time and he just stops his mother from getting killed. That's all he changed. And you think that something that simple wouldn't affect, you know, how things went, but it honestly did. But in that universe, Bruce Wayne was killed instead of his parents. His father became Batman, but became a killing Batman.
Yep.
His mother became the Joker.
Yep.
Superman didn't fall into the fields of Metropolis. He fell into the city, and he became enclosed by the government, so he never became buff. He had no human interaction.
Yeah.
And it changed everything. Just from one little event. And in the movie, he's fighting the Reverse Flash, and he's saying that to him. He's like, you didn't go back in time and changed JFK from getting killed or killing Hitler. You saved your mom.
Yeah.
But even that one little event can change everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible. Like, it's insane.
Like, I would never want to change how my video game history came to be, because otherwise it wouldn't have led me to the point at where I'm at now, where I'm trying to make video games a career.
Yeah.
They infected my life that much to where it's like, I want this to be my life. I want this to always be a part of my life, and if I could make money while doing it, then sign me right the fuck up.
Yeah. No, without a doubt. And it's not so much saying that, like I said before, I don't regret that time, because especially I got to bond with my brother, and that's what like video games were for me. It was like bonding time with him. And like, it's just, I guess now that as an older man, like, I have more knowledge of like, okay, these are my priorities. I know what I want to do now. I still enjoy video games very much, but like, I understand I have responsibilities. I have things that I want to explore. I want to go out there and be my own video game character, you know? Yeah. And it's like, that's the thing. I feel like we're very different that way, but yet alike, where we're both affected by video games in a very like term. But like, at the same time, we have different perspectives on where we see our future. You know, you see it more like this is a career opportunity and stuff. And, you know, and you're very hooked in, which is really great. Because that's exactly what an enthusiast would do. You know, that's exactly what an enthusiast would enjoy. Yeah. We're both enthusiasts, but in different spectrums. Yeah. And like, it's just, it's awesome because like, you know, you'd be hooked in with that, and like, you know, I'm hooked into like, okay, I'm inspired by video games. Now, like, because playing Final Fantasy and Legend of Zelda and adventurous games and fantasy games, like, I want to go out there. I want to make my mark. I want to have that fantasy experience, you know? But in the real world, I want to travel. Yeah. I want to go. I'm actually saving up for a trip this summer. I want to go to China with my brother. And he's gone there twice already. And he says it's a completely different, like, experience. You know, very traditional and very, like, countryside. Like I think they go to like very like country, like Greenland kind of.
Yeah.
Like the grass and all that stuff. And
Yeah, they
like,
go to the grassy side of China, not
Yeah,
not
the
the
grassy
industrial.
Yeah, not the more urban, the suburban area of China. And it's nice. It's just like just seeing that and experiencing that changes someone's life.
Yeah, because I see all these YouTubers that travel.
Yeah.
Because like even like the Game Grumps, as much as they don't show where they go, they still talk about those experiences, and that's what I want. I want to be able to get to a point where, yes, this is part of my career of playing video games, but I still want to explore.
Yeah.
And I still want to be able to have those adventures and be able to record them. Because like the whole idea of Kred Studios is a place where inspiration could be put. Because as of right now, it's just the podcast that's going, and it's like we're able to talk about it. But I want it to be able to become a place where, we go out and we like get all of our so-called employees of the studio, of the company, to go out and like we go on a company trip. And it's like we all go together and we all have fun, and we be able to show people the trip that we have, the experiences that we have. Much as like my personal channel does. Like, I want to do a lot on there. The studio also, I basically is inviting all these other content creators to, like, this is a place where I want people to grow. Yeah. So, like, to have those, like, traveling experiences, be able to share them, that would come over here on the studio. Or any, like, short story, like, live action videos that come from, like, the inspiration of video games can come here. Yeah. As much as they can go on to anyone else's channel.
Yeah.
Like, I just want this studio to be the place of inspiration and that to let creativity grow.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's just once that like accumulates and stuff, then
once we get to a point where we're growing, then definitely.
Yeah. But it's really great, just to be able to do that. And I think that's really awesome that you're taking Kred Studios in like that direction, and that you have that kind of philosophy. Because a lot of people, they're just like, "Hey, welcome to the fucking Dirty Dank Memes 07 Master Lord. So yeah, I'm gonna do a walkthrough on how to play Call of Duty 7, and I'm gonna shoot this guy and kapow! Oh, he's dead, and that's it. Bye."
Or even like. You should send me money because I deserve it. I make this entertainment for you guys, so send me money because I deserve it. Like, no. Like, you guys, this is talking to the audience. You guys listen and watch this because you're entertained. And through that, we make money. But, like, you're not, like... As much, like, and, like, I can easily promote, like, donate to our Patreon so we could be able to do this more. I could easily do that, and I will add that plug in at the end of this video. Like,
oh my god!
But, like, I'm not
like... to sell myself out, but I'm selling myself.
It's like, there's a point of selling out, and then there's a point of... There's, like, two separate things. Like, if you want to donate, then go right ahead. No one's stopping you, but at the same time, if you don't want to, I'm not gonna, if you don't donate, you're a loser. Like, I'm not going to be like that. If you want to come here to listen to this and enjoy it because this is what you want to, then I invite that 110%. Yes. If you want to donate, go right ahead. Yeah. No one's stopping you, and no one's going to tell you otherwise.
Boy.
And, like, right now, it's... Because it's, like, a lot of people, like, talk to me about this. It's like, are you in it for the money? Are you in it for the entertainment? And, like, I said, like, I'm in it for a little bit of a both. But I can't be in it for the money as of right now because it's not making money. So I can't focus on the fact, like, why isn't this making me money? Why isn't that? Because I have to make it to where I'm entertaining. And I've learned that this past year of within myself and, like, where I want my studio to go, where I want my YouTube to go. And it became from being, like, a walkthrough person to being more of, like, a PewDiePie, Markiplier, Game Grumps. To where little snippets of, like, quick little one-liners here and there, and, like, having their own little visuals and, like, finding my way into it. And I've come to a point where I can appreciate what I do will make other people happy, and that this is what people want to watch.
Yes.
So, like, I'm, like, ready to go with 2017. Like, I honestly feel like this is the year that Crimson Kramer will reach 100 subscribers and more. And same for Kred Studios. I hope Kred Studios reaches over 50, just a little, like, as half as Crimson, but...
Well, we're shooting for a skyrocket right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's always. And it's like, you've talked about it, and you were like, you know, with the money and all that stuff, but, you know, a lot of people, think about it, like a lot of entertainers, they go through this path, and I think everyone's chosen for a certain path. Not to go so deep into all this, I'm about to drop some fucking knowledge right now. Yeah. Everybody listen up. No, it's like, think about the guys that are like playing guitar in the subway, you know, that are playing drums, playing trumpets and all that stuff, you know, that are going to auditions to act, to go and just embrace their talents and their personalities, and this is what I want to do. This is my life. This is my purpose. This is something passion. That's passion. You know, it's my passion. It's a beautiful thing, and like that's art. That's what it is. And if you don't feel that passion, if you don't try to strive and just work every day to get better, because you're not getting better for the people watching, you're not getting better for anything like that. You guys are a factor in what decides what. But I will tell you right now, if I don't agree with any kind of like moralistic art, you know, if it's not coming from me, if I'm pretending to be someone else, you know, at my core of a person, not as a role or anything like that, then I won't do it. I won't do it because it's not authentic. It's not something that I mean to do. And that's the worst kind of crime, because you're not just committing it to someone else and, you know, and doing that, whatever, people do that for a living to rise up, but you're lying to yourself. And once you lose yourself, like anything in life, it's hard to come back, and some people don't come back, you know, and it's very intense, you know, and that's a lot of life lessons that people have to go through. That's growing as a person, that's maturing. And that's understanding passion, understanding hard work, understanding what you're meant to do in this life, and understanding that you can't give up, no matter what.
Yeah, because, like, it's, like, the same thing with, like, you're trying to grow you as you, because, like, there's a whole bunch of factors in it, but, like you were saying, the most important one is how you feel, because, like, this past year, with my own stuff, I felt very fake about it, which is what stopped me from progressing. Like, a lot of my videos, they would be, like, you know, a couple of days in between and then months in between, and it was just very much, like, I was being fake and I wasn't being me. And it only took this past December, where I did the Crimson Christmas videos, where I would do a video a day and get into that habit. But it also came down to, no one's watching this stuff, and it's like, people, tell me what I'm doing wrong. Let me know, like this is where the other factor comes in, of where the consumer lets the creator know what they're doing wrong, or what they can improve on, or what this person likes, and if it agrees with me, then I'll do it. So, like, it came down to, like, someone's like, oh, you need to cut your videos more, you're not doing a lot of edits, it's not very entertaining to sit through these silent things, so, like, the videos changed to that, and then, oh, this is really good, or, oh, I don't like the way that you did this, and then that affects me, or, like, this and that, and it, like, and I took all that information, and now it's what I'm going to be going through for 2017, and, like, my newer videos with my little animated avatar, and, like, having more one-liners, and, like, having these different facial expressions, and, like, I feel like I finally found who I am, and I'm ready to go forward with it, and it all comes from the inspiration of video games.
It really does. You know, it's that's really it.
And other YouTubers as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's but it's just so important, like, in life itself, like, just to never lose sight of it, because you can take constructive criticism, and that's more of a logical aspect, a more objective aspect, where it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing wrong, this is what I could do to make better quality, but passion and subjectivity is an entirely different realm. And like, if you don't feel what you're doing, if you're a painter and you're working, you're making art, but it's got to be something that you feel. Now, if you want to draw, yourself, for instance, like, flowers coming out of hand or whatever, expression of nature or something like that to show beauty or any kind of passion.
Yeah.
Maybe you're stuck in an urban location. You just want to go and express that nature inside of you. It makes you happy. Makes you feel beautiful. You can have that concept. You can have that idea, that goal, that image.
Yeah.
But there are certain techniques that you have to follow. There are certain ways you have to draw that line. You have to paint that picture. You have to do certain things. Because with all things, with art in general, there's the goal, and then there's the hard work and the training that helps you proceed to where you want to be, to reach that goal. And if you don't study that, then you're not going to reach your goal. I could say that without a doubt. Yeah.
Great. I loved how much of that was an inspiration to you. That was fantastic and great, and I'm very glad that you were able to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like this is like the good spot to wrap it up now, because
absolutely,
it's we pretty much drained this topic of everything that we could, but it was a very good topic to talk about, and so
I think like the main thing of this whole video really was like just whatever you're trying for, whether it's video games, YouTube, or just being an artist in general, because that's what you are, essentially.
Yeah.
At your core, you're a creator. Yeah. If you and many other people that are watching this, that are like trying to go and achieve their dreams, no matter if you're dealing with any kind of depression or social anxiety or anything like that, anything that's just stopping you, it's just another obstacle. And if you work hard enough, if you really seek out, if you need help, don't be afraid. Just chase your dreams, do whatever you have to do, because everything is only temporary.
Yeah.
And the future is so fucking bright. And you can make it. You can reach that goal.
Yeah, and like what we were saying, like our inspirations came from video games and stuff. Yeah. So like if your goals are inspired from video games, go ahead and achieve those dreams. And this is also to you guys, as this is kind of like just happening like right now because of what Ricky said and just how inspiring it was. If you guys have any projects or anything that you want to send to us to have us see where something affected you or where your inspiration came from a video game, if you send it to Kred Studios at this at the email that I'm gonna have below, we'll definitely put your projects up on the channel and to show the world where your inspirations come from and to grow as a community from there.
That's rad.
So thank you for all of you listening. I'm Cole, otherwise known as Crimson Kramer.
There. I'm Ricky, always known as Black Tie.
Both of our channels are down below or on the screen. We'll have them come up. So anyway, everyone, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. And we'll see you next time on another Kred Studios Kredcast.
All right. Adios.
Peace out, Rainbow Trout.